The city wept under a sky of endless gray. Rain fell in relentless sheets, blurring the world into a watercolor painting of slick streets and hurried shapes. At a solitary bus stop, Lynn stood, a small figure against the vast, weeping cityscape. The wind whipped cold droplets against her, soaking her thin jacket, but she seemed lost in thought, oblivious to the chill. Not far away, under the awning of a coffee shop, Min watched. He saw her standing alone, the rain plastering her hair to her face, her shoulders hunched against the downpour. Something in her quiet defiance, her stillness amidst the chaos, pulled at him. Without a second thought, he stepped out from his dry refuge, his large black umbrella, a shield against the storm. He approached her quietly, the only sound the rhythmic tap of rain on his umbrella. "Excuse me," he said, his voice gentle. Lynn startled, turning to see him standing beside her, holding the umbrella out. It was an offering, a small circle of dryness in the deluge. She hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. It was a simple gesture, yet it felt significant. After a moment, she gave a small, grateful nod and stepped under its cover. As she moved closer, their hands brushed, a fleeting warmth that sent a surprising jolt through them both. Just then, the bus hissed to a stop, its headlights cutting through the gloom. They boarded together, the warmth inside a stark contrast to the cold outside. Lynn found a seat by the window, the rain-streaked glass reflecting the city's neon lights. Min stood in the aisle nearby, holding onto a pole, the umbrella now dripping onto the floor. The bus rumbled forward, a moving sanctuary through the storm. Lynn watched the world slide by, a cascade of lights and shadows. The reflection in the glass was faint, and next to it, she could see Min's. He was looking at her, not directly, but at her image in the window, a quiet, contemplative gaze. She felt a blush creep up her neck and quickly looked away. Suddenly, the bus lurched, and the notebook she was clutching slipped from her grasp, falling to the floor with a soft thud. Before she could react, Min bent down and picked it up. His fingers grazed the cover, where her name Lynn was neatly written. He handed it back to her, his eyes meeting hers for a brief, intense moment. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engine. He simply nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. An unspoken understanding passed between them, a comfortable silence settling in the space that separated them. The awkwardness of their first meeting had melted away, replaced by a strange sense of peace. For Lynn, it was a calmness she hadn't felt in a long time. For Min, it felt like reconnecting with a memory he didn't know he had. The bus slowed, its brakes squealing as it pulled up to her stop. "This is me," she said, rising from her seat. She walked to the door, and just before stepping off, she turned back, her gaze finding his one last time. He watched her go, a silent farewell in his eyes, as she disappeared into the throng of people on the sidewalk. He remained on the bus, the space where she had been now feeling strangely empty. By the time Lynn reached her small apartment, the rain had softened to a gentle drizzle. She unlocked the door, the familiar comfort of home wrapping around her. She placed the damp notebook on her desk and opened it to a fresh page. With a thoughtful expression, she began to write, not about her day, but about a stranger's kindness, a shared umbrella, and a fleeting connection in the rain. Miles away, Min walked into his own apartment, shrugging off his wet jacket. The scent of rain clung to him. He leaned the umbrella against the wall, watching as a small puddle formed beneath it. He found himself standing by his window, looking out at the glistening city lights. The image of a girl at a bus stop replaying in his mind. Didn't know her name, yet he felt as if he knew her soul. And so, in two different parts of the city, two strangers stared out into the night, their thoughts filled with the memory of a chance encounter. A single moment, born from a storm, had woven a delicate, invisible thread between them. A thread that lingered long after the rain had stopped. The night was quiet, holding the promise of a story just beginning.